Welcome back to another episode of the Next Is Now podcast. This is Max Feldman, and we've got a big episode ahead of us. We're now just a few days out from the 2024 live period where college coaches can hit the road. So I'm going to have a few of our guys hop on to preview our DMV live event in a few days in Springfield, Virginia. We're going to have a ton of teams from all across the East Coast, the South, the Midwest, headed to Springfield to participate. So we're going to roll through a little bit of an exercise to take a look at some of the top prospects that will be in the building there. A bunch of guys that college coaches will definitely be focused on getting their eyes on. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, we've got a big crowd today. Jeff, Flynn, Chase, welcome on. Appreciate you guys taking the time. We're now just a few days away from tipping off DMV Live in Springfield. So had to get you guys on to get a little bit of the lay of the land, especially this year. With the change in the recruiting calendar and COVID years expiring after this coming college basketball season, that May live period definitely carries some more importance. So I wanted to focus here on prospects that you guys think college coaches should be locked in on at DMV Live. So instead of just a basic roundtable discussion, I wanted to do a little bit of a hypothetical fantasy draft between the three of you, building your starting fives for the DMV Live, obviously including only guys that will be in attendance. So we've got a snake draft to randomize. We'll start with Flynn, then go to Chase, then Jeff, then back the other way. So Flynn, you're on the clock here.
Yeah, I'm not going to take much time on this. I'm going to go with the best player on the circuit, and that would be Mason Ellison from Mid-Atlantic Select. 6'3", shooting guard, let's call him. That's where I'm going to play him anyways, but really can play either on or off the ball. Elite level, 3-level scorer. He's definitely going to be the guy on the circuit this year.
Love it. Love it. Chase, who we got?
Yeah, I think for me, with my first pick, I'm going to go with Lance Stone of Michigan Unified, Midwest guy. Really liked what I saw at our Midwest Mania this year against some shoe teams. I thought he really performed well. I would say one of the most talented guys when it comes to skill set in our circuit this year, and just really excited to see how he performs in the live period here in a few weeks.
No doubt. You got your floor general. Jeff, rounding out the first round.
Yeah, my first round pick is going to be Tony Butta Williams from New Haven Heat. Tone setter for our team. He'll run the show for us. He can get downhill and score, step out and make shots. But more importantly, he's a dog defensively. He'll pick up 94 feet, and he'll really set the tone for what our group's going to do.
Definitely got a chance to solidify your starting five here, going back to back. Who you got?
Yeah, so I'm going to go from my point guard to my guy that's going to be our horse inside. I'm going to take Brendan Benjamin from Culture, Link Academy kid. So he's played super high level competition in high school. 6'7", 6'8". 7-foot wingspan, super strong, well-built kid. I think he can really score inside, but I think on the circuit, on MHC here, he's going to show a little bit of his expanded game. He can play off the bounce a little bit, step out and shoot the ball. But he's a force defensively. He'll clean glass for us, and I'm really excited to have Brandon on our team.
Absolutely. Definitely provided some good minutes for Link this year, but excited to see him show some more in his game these next few months. Going back to Chase here, second round.
Yeah, I think with my next pick, I'm going to go with Jordan Maid of Central Kentucky. I think the best thing about him is his versatility. Can at times stretch and play the 5 in a small ball lineup, but I think he's best fit probably at that 3-4. Again, Midwest Mania and some of these events we've had here. He'll be at Bluegrass this weekend. Just been really impressed with his improvement over the last 12 months and excited to see, like I said, him go up against some of our other MHC teams from other regions here at DMV.
No doubt. Flynn.
I mean, you guys are grabbing some size here, so I'm going to counter with Parby Musangela, a 6'8" forward, combo forward. Plays the 4 for Jayhawks, but shows that he's got a lot of face-up ability. Was really good at New York Clash. Is probably going to be the guy for the Jayhawks this season. Really physical, really athletic, and can guard anywhere 3 through 5. So he actually fits really well with my next pick, which is Elijah Flowers from Team Takeover National. Big 6'8" wing who could shoot it from 3, spaces the floor a little bit, has shown a little bit of being able to put it on the floor through the first month of play, and can also probably slide up and down the lineup depending on who else is with us. So, I mean, I'm feeling really good about my team right
now. Yeah, you're posting some mismatch problems here for the other guys. Going back to Chase here.
Yeah, with my next pick, I'm going to go with Wes Lindsey from Hawks Elite. They were at our Southeast warm-up in Atlanta to start April. Again, versatility is what my lineup is going to be about. Can shoot the ball at a really high level. Sneaky athleticism. I think that translates well to the next level. It just comes from a program that plays a really high level quality of basketball. So I think his game is going to translate, and you'll see that when we play with shot clocks. I think a lot of his skills are translatable to the college game, and I think that's what college coaches are going to want. So I think he fits perfectly in my lineup, and also it's going to translate to a lot of college lineups as well.
Absolutely. Jeff, rounding out the third round, and then before you get into your fourth round, let's reset and take a look at the rosters.
For sure. So my third round pick here, I gotta counter Flynn's choice of Elijah Flowers, a player who I love. I'm gonna go with 𝘖evelopment from Northeast Revolt. 6'8", long-armed, freaky athletic, terror in transition, has shown the ability to play more outside this year. I think he's a kid with his length, his athleticism, and his skill set. That'll be a tough matchup for guys in this draft, but also more importantly, guys in the MHC season. And then is going to be a guy that I think college coaches really want to get out and see. Come DMV Live, he's going to be an impact player and help teams win a lot of games at the next level.
Definitely. Jeff, so who are your three so far?
So I got Butta Williams, I got 𝘖evelopment, and I got Brandon Benjamin right now. So I got my wing, I got my point, and I got my big inside. So far, feeling really good about where we're at.
Chase, who we got?
Yeah, mine, I got Lance Stone, Jordan Mabe, and Wes Lindsey. Again, I think for me, versatility is something that is really becoming a priority for college programs today. Guys who can move to different positions, that have size and skill. And I think those three guys fit that mold and really help their teams win every time they're on the floor.
And Flynn, your three so far?
So I have Mason Ellison, Harbin Musangela, and Elijah Flowers. Again, I'm feeling great. I feel like I got three of the top 5 guys in the league right now.
All right, going back to Jeff to start our fourth round.
Yeah, to get the fourth round going, I am going to take DJ Brown from Rennes United, 6'3", well-built guard. He is freaky athletic. We've seen some of his highlights, his high-flying dunks, both in Baltimore and in this past a couple of weekends ago here in New York. DJ is, to use Chase's word, he's versatile. He can guard multiple positions. He could play either guard spot. He could shoot it from deep. He could really get downhill and use his body. I think he's a kid that will live at the free throw line. DJ's a kid that Division I programs need to get on quickly because once this live period comes, he's going to be a really hot name. And I think he's a perfect addition to Team Kovner here.
Love it. Chase.
Yeah, for me, with my fourth pick, I'm going to go with Cam Williams from Midwest Basketball Club. I think as a team, it's been one of the more impressive runs so far in April with a ton of impressive wins over some shoe teams and some of the events that they've been with us. And Cam is, I think, severely under-recruited. A guy who I think next weekend is really going to show his skill set, kind of runs the show for them, but can also play off the ball. Extremely efficient scorer. I want to say he had 37 in one of their games at Midwest Mania. Just finds ways to get it done on a team that does it at a really high level week in, week out. So I think he continues to fit my mold. Him and Lance in a backcourt, I think, is an extremely talented group.
No doubt. All right, Flynn, you're 4 and 5 here back to back.
Before we go to this, I think we should do 6-man after all.
Let's do it.
We could do 6-man.
I think we're too talented this year to not do 6-man.
Hey, it's a good problem to have.
All right. So with that in mind, I'm going to go get my point guard right now. I'm going to take Ben Natal from York Ballers. 6'1", really, really smart with the ball in his hands, can shoot it, gets downhill. And once he gets into the lane, he's so smart about either finding shooters, dropping off to his bigs, or just having a really nice mid-range game. I think he's another guy who's really going to blow up this spring. And then center-wise, I am going to go ahead and take Mustafa Loom, an unsigned senior who popped up into the Northeast in late February, originally from France. Again, going with my theme of mismatch guys. He could step out, shoot it a little bit. He's quick enough that he could take opposing bigs off the dribble, and he's strong enough that he's very good defensively.
Big time. Chase, who we got? with your
Yeah, I think for me with my fifth pick here, now knowing that we got a 6-man option, I'm going to go with Jalen Bush of Empire out of Georgia. I think he is, again, a strong physical guard that really brings a defensive mindset to teams. I think with my team specifically really fits in well and kind of switch between those 3 guard positions with Lance and Cam. But just a guy who, like I said, who gets it done, who's a lead guard, but also takes the challenge of guarding the other team's best player. I think he can switch and really hold his own against some 4s and 5s as well. And that's a skill that is extremely utilized at the college level, being able to guard 1 through 5 or at least switch 1 through 5. And I think he'll continue to show that next weekend at the DMV Live.
Absolutely. Jeff, your last guy, and then we can go back to Flynn to start the 6-man group.
What happened in the snake draft? I should get the first pick of the 6-man.
All right, we'll keep it going.
There we go. So for my fifth pick, I need a shooter. I need someone that can really light it up from deep. So I'm going to take Dean Hogans from Sixborough Hoops. Hotchkiss kid, 6'4". I think the term 3-level scorer gets used a little too much, but Dean is that. Dean can shoot it from deep. He's got a really good middle game, kind of that like Devin Booker get to a spot and lift game, and he's creative at the rim. So I think Dean, with his ability to stretch the floor for us, will fit pretty seamlessly into our lineup.
Gotcha. Who's your spark off the bench here?
Spark off the bench. It can go a lot of different ways here. I'm going to go with JP Baldwin from Hawks Elite. I think JP about 6'7". Again, he could really, really shoot it. I think the ability to stretch the floor with our guard play, with Butta and with DJ and with Dean, to have bigs that can give them space to operate is really important. JP is one of the better shooters we have in the circuit, especially at his size. He's a mismatch guy. If you guard him with the big, he can stretch him out. If you guard him with a guard, he can play a little bit inside here. So it gives me a little bit of size and gives me a lot of shooting. So JP Baldwin as my 6-man will round out the team.
Chase, I know you are planning to heavily utilize your 6-man, so who you got here?
For sure. Like I said, I think this is going to make my roster complete here. So with my 6-man, I'm going to go with Ace Flagg from White Mamba. I think he's just a plug-and-play guy. You give him minutes on the floor, and he's going to find ways to be productive. We've seen that in the high school season as well as in the past on the AAU circuits. It's just, again, super effective on the floor, a winner, tough as can be. I think he's going to come in and give a much-needed burst to our team off the bench.
Yeah, it's a hell of a Swiss Army knife off the bench right there. All right, Flynn, finishing up here. Who you got?
So I think if there's one thing that I still really need, it's a little bit more shooting and somebody else who can play on the ball. So I'm going to go with Spartan star 𝘿evelopment. Another guy who can really, really shoot it, handles it really well, is sneaky athletic. He will rise up on some people this spring and definitely catch some people. Is going to be at St. Thomas More next year on an absolutely loaded team. He's a guy that I could really see, again, kind of picking up those offers that he's looking for and finding the right fit over the spring.
Definitely. So,
Max, I want a 7th guy on my team. Can we go 7?
I don't want to go 7.
I don't know if these guys are ready.
I had a coach ready. I need whatever you guys got. I was ready for it.
all right, let's do it.
Keep going.
Let's do it.
One more round. Seventh round.
Flynn, we're going 7th man here. Who we got?
We're on 7th man here.
Putting you on the spot, Flynn.
Yeah, the thing is that there's just like so many options still.
We got a lot of talent on MHC this year. It's a good
You know
problem.
what? I'm going to go with 𝘿evelopment. Give myself a little bit more toughness, a little bit more ball handling, another guy who can shoot it well enough. But really the big thing with 𝘿 is his defensive versatility. He's college-ready framed at 6'6". He's fluid enough that he can guard anywhere along on the perimeter and strong enough that he can guard opposing 4s and has just gotten better over the past year. And he's another guy who, again, not to sound like a broken record, but as an unsigned senior is definitely going to find that fit at the Division I level this spring playing on the mid-hoop circuit.
All right, Chase, I think to round out your roster now with their 7th man, who you got?
I know I had to go back to the drawing board for 7, but for my pick, I'm going to go with Paige Strobel of the Scoring Factory. Coach's kid, playing up in the 17s as a 2026. I think he fits the mold of today's typical point guard. Got good size, about 6'2", with some room to grow, can really shoot it. Obviously, as a coach's kid, high basketball IQ. And I think he fits well into my roster. That's probably got some guards that are looking to score. He can be a guy who can look to get them easy shots, but also make open shots off the ball when needed as well. So I think he fits well into my roster, and a guy who I think his recruitment is really going to start to blow up here into the summer as college coaches get a chance to check him out.
Absolutely. Jeff, who are you rounding out with? And then
I'm pumped about my my last pick here. I needed to find a way to get him on my roster, so I had to swindle you guys a little bit to add another round. But my 7th pick here is going to be London Carson from the East Coast Cyclones. Another well-built guard. It's kind of a theme with our team. 6'4", strong body. London's a winner. He's now a back-to-back state champion at Elizabeth High School in New Jersey. He's a 4.0 GPA student. He can play downhill in transition, steps out and makes shots. But my favorite part about London's game and why I think he'll fit on our team, similar to Butta, he is a tone setter defensively. He's going to get into guys. He's very switchable with his frame. London's a guy that I think more Division I coaches are going to come see. He's going to be reclassing into 2025. So I think London's a guy that I'm really excited about for my fantasy team here, but I'm even more excited about for college coaches to get a chance to look at him on MHC this year with East Coast Cyclones.
Definitely. All right, before we get out of here, I'm going to go back to Flynn. Let's hear the full roster.
All right, so we have Ben Natal from York Ballers, Mason Ellison from Mid-Atlantic Selects, Elijah Flowers from Takeover National, Parbeem Wisangela from Jayhawks, and Mustafa Loom from New Haven Heat Elite. And then Jake Lomelman's coming off the bench for me, and Dave Combo is coming off the bench for me. Guys from Spartans and New Heights, respectively.
Chase?
Yeah, just like we continue to say, a ton of talent on these rosters. Just continuing to hear talk back here. But for my roster, I got Lance Stone of Michigan Unified, Jordan Mabe from Central Kentucky, Wes Lindsay from Hawks Elite, Cam Williams from Midwest Basketball Club, Jalen Bush from Empire. I got my 6th man is Ace Flag from White Mamba, and then Paige Strobel coming off the bench as well from the Scoring Factory.
Love it. Jeff?
Yeah, I got Butta Williams at my 1 from New Haven Heat. Loaded up with a bunch of 2s. I have EJ Brown from Rennes United. I got Dean Hogans from Sixborough Hoops, and I got London Carson from East Coast Cyclones. Kind of my hybrid guards. My wings, I have JP Baldwin from Hawks Elite, and I have Or Oduteo from Northeast Revolt. And then rounding it out in the middle, I got my big fella Brandon Benjamin from Culture. Listen, I think the other guys got great teams, but I'm pumped about our squad here. I think we're going to be tough to beat.
Love it. That's all we got. Appreciate you guys taking the time. We'll definitely hop back on a few days after DMV Live and break it all down, see how these teams performed here.
For sure.